All right, so we're gonna go into a quadruped position and I'm gonna get into some shoulder cars here. A couple of different ways, again, that you can do this, just like with every other exercise, right? Different ways that you can do them. For the most part, I can't seem to find the ball around here, but I like to squeeze something to help me irradiate tension, right? You've heard me talk about in other videos, right? Using those support muscles, right, in order to gain control over my joint, right? Especially with the shoulder joint. Okay, so I can also make a fist to irradiate that tension, but what I'm gonna be doing is, again, in this quadruped position, really making sure that abs are tight, tucking that chin, reaching in front of me with the crown of my head to make sure that my spine is as long as possible. And so I'm gonna be working this right side. As I work this right side, I'm gonna be really pushing into the ground with my left arm, all right? So I also wanna make sure that I'm not rotating at my trunk at all, right? So you guys can call me out if you see me start to rotate here, but from here, squeezing, creating that tension. Now, you'll see a lot of people who immediately when they do cars, they'll try to go straight up into overhead flexion, okay? I never press straight out in front of me. I never do it, whether it's with kettlebells, dumbbells, landmine, barbell, right? I'm always kind of coming up at an angle. So if I was facing you guys, right, what I was just talking about is going straight up here, right? So yes, I can practice that, but I like to relate myself to how I'm gonna be training as well, right? So I'll come out at a little bit more of an angle, right? And that's gonna allow my scapula, remember, which is responsible for stability of the shoulder, to kind of support me and upwardly rotate as I go into overhead flexion of the shoulder. So, right now, right, if I was to go here, if I was to extend my thumb, it'd be like a thumbs up, right? And then I'm gonna start to internally rotate. So thumbs down. You guys remember Gladiator? Thumbs down, kill him, right? And then we're gonna rotate, rotate, rotate. Elbow stays fully extended. Internally rotating as much as I can. And then coming down. So now when I get down to the floor, my thumb is pointed straight back behind me. I'm internally rotated at the shoulder. And then I'm gonna go back. And then I'm gonna externally rotate once I find that block. Always keeping my shoulder down towards my rib cage, right? Coming back to that same angle, and then coming down, right? So thumb is pointed straight out, right? In that thumbs up, okay? So that's essentially, right, what we wanna think about is creating that tension, right? Keeping the elbow nice and long. I love this quadruped position for this exercise because it's going to force me to really think about how my core is, right? Yes, I could be in this tall kneeling position or standing position. I tend to compensate a little bit more there, and a lot of it stems from trunk stability and my hips, but in this quadruped position, I kind of take that away. So here's what it's gonna look like from the side, right? I'm not gonna do the thumb, but squeezing, right? Shoulder down towards the rib cage, abs tight. Going into overhead flexion, making sure that my elbow doesn't bend at all. Internal rotation. Keeping that arm as high as possible without compensating. Still rotating, still rotating, still rotating. Even as I come down, I'm still fighting for more rotation, okay? I'm shaking here. I don't know if you guys can see, but I am shaking. Then I'm gonna go back, internally rotating. Once I find that block, I can't extend that shoulder anymore. External rotation. Still making that fist. And back down, okay? So still same rules are gonna apply as if you're standing or any time that you're doing those shoulder cars, right? Still same rules are gonna apply. But again, it's the position, right, that you might prefer, okay? So I always am gonna recommend standing or in a tall kneeling position, right? Being more erect here and going through your cars, but explore these different positions and find what feels better for you and what position that you can own, right, to enhance the benefit right, of that exercise. So that is the quadruped shoulder car.